pulling grass silage. Got to be really careful you don't hook the bottom of the bag. So I come in on an angle like that. I don't know if you can see that. You see down there? Yeah, so right down there, you don't want to tear the bag. I mean, the tires and the chains will eventually tear the bag as you're kind of driving into the pile, but yeah, so that's pretty muddy. Hi. My name is Paul and this is PJT Ventures. Join me while I ramble on like an empty dump truck. Today's ramble, we are doing a ditch hay silage update. So if you're not familiar with what this is last summer I posted a video of a process I've been working on for years to try harvest the silage or the hay, like the brome grass that is right just on the steepest part of the edge of the road. Little gravel roads everywhere, and so for years I've pined over. I've yearned to try harvest it, and I've tried all sorts of different things, and finally I have started to have some great success. So this bag, I opened it actually a week ago. I should have filmed that. I totally forgot. Just wasn't really paying attention. But this entire bag is all ditch hay that I chopped with a chopper and bagged. And I mean, I just went right from the road right to the bagger, and it is beautiful. This year, or last year, I used inoculant, and that made a huge difference. And I wish YouTube had a smell feature. Maybe sometimes I don't, but imagine the diesel. Anyways, if you know what silage is supposed to smell like, oh, it is just the most beautiful smell. And right now, yeah, it's just beautiful. So anyway, so this stuff was literally just, I never let it wilt. I had no real control over the moisture. I just went as fast and as hard as I could to silage it, and the inoculant made all the difference this year. 3 years ago I tried it and I didn't use inoculant, and I got about halfway through and I had to make some additional changes to the chopper that I had. I had to add 3 more knives to it so I'd get a shorter chopped product, because it only came with 3 knives, and it had an opportunity, or it had an option of having 6 knives. So I had like a 2-week gap kind of in between the beginning of my silage run and the end. And by the end I'd kind of run into some real dry product, and when I got it tested I had a high mold or spore count. So I sent samples to my nutritionist, and he said, you know, you better just blend it. Like, you can only use like maybe 20 or 30% each day and blend it out. And so I was kind of bummed, and I blended it, but then I chickened out and left half the bag. And then in the spring I just slit the bag, and I piled all of the contents in the manure pile. And then about a couple of weeks later, some cows managed to get in there, and they like spent 2 days eating it all before I realized, and they were fine. So, I mean, it's best to follow what the nutritionist has to say. But anyways, so then I kind of backed off. Then I tried it again with the inoculant, and the inoculant worked great. Now I'll just shift gears here for a sec. So Here's another bag, and here's another bag that I put up. Now, the lumpy stuff is the grass, and it doesn't chop as nice, and it doesn't pack as nice as like a cereal crop would, or as and then also the style of chopper. And you can see these big lumps here, and they're, it doesn't pack as nice. But that stuff is identical to the stuff that's over there, and it's been great. This, the bags, my local landfill kind of transfer site recycle area, if you wrap all the stuff up and bundle it up neat, then they will take it and recycle it. Same as the grain bags. If the grain bags come wrapped, then they'll send it to the recyclers, and the plastic manufacturers can reuse it. Same with twine. I recycle all our twine. There's a program again at the landfill where you can bring in your clean string, and I mean, you don't need to burn it. I know everybody does, but you don't need to burn it, and I don't burn it, and I do my best to recycle it. Anyways, okay, so because of how kind of strange, or I guess how lumpy it packed, I actually took and cut a hole in here, and I put a shop vac here, and I actually kind of like vacuum sealed it down right after I finished bagging, and I actually got it to really conform. But you can see these big kind of lumps, and then you can see this area right here, and so it actually gotten this to suck right down. And so for the first kind of week, I came and monitored that you're supposed to, of course, vent if gases build up, but I kind of just forcefully pulled gas out, and just because of how lumpy it was, because the chopper doesn't chop the green hay as nicely as, let's say, a chopper would chop the, like an oats or a barley or a wheat. And so I just kind of took those precautions and got as much oxygen out of the bag, and I think that's why I've had such a great like even up here, if I just pull, like even the top right there, there's no mold, which is just awesome. Ugh, more geese. Anyway, so I had a great seal on this bag, and even though those lumps were there, it's still really kind of fermented correctly. So that was another thing I did different this year. Okay, so here's the customers. So we have a small beef cattle operation as well as the grain side of things, but yeah, I can't be happier. This product, it's super easily digestible. They eat every single drop of it. There's no waste, there's no rot. I get to recycle the plastic. I mean, there is scientific studies. I'm not talking about your neighbor's opinion, that if you do round bales and you leave them outside, which there's a tremendous amount of people who do, you're losing 30%. So if I can put up 30% less because I involve all these crazy old machines, well, that suits my lifestyle. But I mean, there's no waste, and that's I mean, it's easier to digest. The cows, yeah, some of these complex sugars are broken down in the fermentation process, and I mean, it's a win-win. And then of course the whole premise is that you're getting the hay from the ditch. Like, that's free. Like, there's miles and miles around. A couple of years ago, of course, got permission from the county, got liability insurance, and like went through the whole thing, and then spoke for all the bits of hay. And I mean, we're not talking about like the big highways where you can go in with the haying equipment. I'm talking about this thing hangs over the edge and gets the 3 or 4 feet of hay. And frankly, the steeper the bank, the more the brome grass grows there, because of course it gets watered by the road. Every time it rains, the water sheds all the water off, and the first 3 or 4 feet get all the water. When you get down into the bottom and the flat and start going up the other side of the ditch, there's no grass down there because there's no moisture down there. So it really has been a success, and I think I'll continue to do it. The cows like it, I like it, and yeah, so there was some viewers that had asked to see a follow-up. So there's not going to be a lot of fun machines in this one, but at least you kind of get an idea as to how it's working for me. So if you have any questions or comments or anything of that nature, let me know. Otherwise, thanks again for watching. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.